Okay, let's proceed, guys. Now we are in the last section, part 4 of our law marathon. The previous 3 parts we revised Companies Act. Now we are going to focus on other laws. In other laws, we have Indian Contract Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, Interpretation of Statutes and General Clause Act. The law which everybody is comfortable with is what? Indian Contract Act. So I'll keep it for the last, because everybody knows that you are reading that, correct? So in our marathon, for the next 2 hours, predominantly first I will finish these 3: Interpretation of Statutes, General Clause Act and Negotiable Instrument Act, and then we will do the rest. Interpretation of statutes basically tells us why and how you should read a law. I will do this with the book, how and why you should read a law. Very easy to score. This part is classified into 3. Rules of interpretation. What are the basic rules of interpretation? Then aids, what's going to help me in understanding a law, and interpretation of deeds and documents, which is important for November 23. They haven't asked for a while. What are rules? When you read a law, you will get some doubt how to deal with these doubts. For example, rule of literal construction. Rule of literal construction says whatever is clearly given in the law, try to understand in that. For example, in Companies Act we see AGM should be held within 6 months from end of financial year. Is there any doubt in that? Is the wordings clear? Then follow that. Rule of literal interpretation says when something is very clear, meaning, what do you mean by very clear? Literally, it must be understood. Construed means understood literally and grammatically in their ordinary and natural meaning. Do not deviate when the law is clear. Now, sir, what do you mean by interpretation of statutes versus construction of statutes? Now, interpretation versus construction. Can someone tell the difference? In simple, the law starts with that. Interpretation is what you are understanding. No. Interpretation is what I want you to understand. I wrote something with an intention. What was my intention when I wrote the law? Interpretation. What did you understand? Construction. How many times you send a message to a friend? You wanted to communicate something. What is your thought? They understood something else. Construction. Correct, guys? Fine. Now we'll come back to subject. Both should be same. That means if I drafted the law well, what I wanted to communicate and what your understanding will be the same. So if I wrote the law well, my interpretation of what I wanted it to be and what you read is the same. For example, AGM should be held within 6 months from end of financial year. My intention is AGM should be held within 6 months from end of financial year. Is that what you also understood? Yes. So interpretation is same as construction. That the rule 1 says when the law is clear grammatically, if there is no ambiguity, then follow what the law says. This chapter in exam, they will not ask you concepts. They won't ask you case studies. What is rule of literal interpretation? Right from the book with the keywords. In simple, I will say, court will try to understand words in their ordinary meaning and grammatical meaning if there is no ambiguity or doubt. Next, in Income Tax Act, there is a provision. I will give a lot of examples over here and then proceed quickly. Okay. In Income Tax Act, they say if you receive any gift on occasion of marriage, taxes exempt. Correct? Reading this, now Charan got excited and he got married 5 times. Now he is saying gifts which I received 5 times is exempt. Mohit also is saying. What interpretation? Good. Now follow, guys. Is this what the lawmaker wanted to intend? Is this what the lawmaker wanted to intend, guys? Lawmaker did not want to intend this. Lawmaker wanted to intend one time get married exempt. Fine. Mohit said, sir, I am getting married only once. But in my marriage, the gift I am going to receive is 200 crores. All the black money I am going to convert to white today. Are you following? Is that the intention of lawmaker? No. So whenever when you read a law, if there is confusion, ambiguity, this or that, law is not clear, then the second rule, rule of reasonable construction or golden rule of construction. When it is capable of 2 constructions. Now, in the Charan example, marriage, you can think it as, think like 5 times I get married also exempt, or 1 time I get married only exempt. Which is reasonable? What is the intention of lawmaker? So the rule says, when you have 2 or more constructions meaning from same thing, the lawmaker says, the court, when the grammatical interpretation leads to certain absurdity, it is permissible to depart from there and interpret in the manner so as to avoid the absurdity. This departure from grammatical construction is permissible only to the extent it avoids such absurdity. Court can deviate to give the benefit of doubt to what was the intention of the lawmaker. Are you following, guys? So this rule of reasonable construction of golden construction says you are allowed to deviate. Are you following, guys? So we are done with rule of reasonable and literal construction. Are you following? In AGM chapter, we saw AGM should be held within 6 months from end of financial year, minimum 1 in 1 calendar year, maximum time gap 15 months between 2 AGMs. Which one to follow? All should be followed. Correct? Correct. That means this is the rule of harmonious construction. So we have 3 words here. Without prejudice, then notwithstanding, subject to. What is the meaning of this? Let's say I am saying after law marathon gets over, I will start accounts marathon, or somebody else will take accounts marathon. Now, without the prejudice means accounts marathon. Let's say, for example, assume today 7 p.m. we have scheduled accounts class. Now the time is 5 p.m. Now if I say accounts class will start at 7 p.m. without prejudice, without affecting law class, that means accounts will start at 7 without affecting the current class. If they say accounts class will start subject to law class, then accounts will start at 7 only if law class gets over at 7. If I use the word notwithstanding, whether law is over or not, I will start accounts at without affecting means I will start at 7 if law gets over by 7. Otherwise, I will start at 8 or tomorrow when law gets over. Are you following? So throughout the law, you will be seeing many words like this. Subject to, notwithstanding, without prejudice. That means without affecting. Subject to means the later will prevail over the former. So here law class will prevail over accounts. Law gets over, then only accounts. Notwithstanding means accounts will override law. Are you following? It's called non-obstante clause. This one, both will operate in addition to each other. We will try to follow both without affecting each other. So subject to accounts will get over, subject to law getting over. Are you following, guys? So what they're trying to say in harmonious construction, try to follow everything. If there is conflict between multiple sections, follow everything. That's it. That is the rule of harmonious construction. Next, let's take Hayden's rule. In earlier income tax, we had a provision in 54 EC capital gains that whenever you sell an asset and you make a capital gain, if you invest that money up to 50 lakhs in NHAI bonds within, that money is exempt. Earlier the law used to be like that, invest within 6 months. So what people used to do, they will sell in December, invest in Feb, and again invest in April. In Feb they used to invest 50 lakhs, in April they used to invest 50 lakhs, and they'll tell it's only within 6 months in one financial year, so I am investing in 2 financial years. So they used to claim 1 crore benefit. It was a loophole before, not now. Then the lawmaker realized this and he amended 54 EC to saying you can claim this only in one financial year. Only once. That was important in 54 EC. Before that, once was not there. They used to say one financial year. So I used to claim in both financial years. So Hayden's rule, or known as mischief rule. Mischief is basically loophole in law. So whenever there is a loophole in law, you should remember these 4 things. What is the law before making the act? What was the defect? Mischief in earlier law. Mischief, loophole. How does the parliament seek to cure that mischief? What are the 3 reasons for remedy? Are you following, guys? Clear? Clear. This is called Hayden's rule. Hayden's rule court is saying, I will try to understand this law came to defeat some, loopholes. That's called mischief. Did it actually able to do that or not? Are you following, guys? That is mischief rule. Exam, you have to write what is Hayden's or mischief rule. I am teaching you in marathon what is what. You should take the effort of going and reading, because now you understood the concept, memorizing these 4 points. You can't memorize the whole para. Keywords, write in own words. Then next one. Rule of beneficial construction is same as reasonable construction. Our study mat has that separately, but beneficial construction means benefit to a section of the society of people. If any law is for any people, relief or protects the benefits for some section of people. That's it. Next is rule of adjustum generis. If I write tiger, lion, cheetah and other animals, does it include cat? Why? It is a wild, these are wild animals, this is a domestic animal, correct? So, just because it's other animals, it will not become every animal. When some general word, other animals, general word follows a few specific words, the general word will take the nature of the specific word. That's the rule of adjustum generis. Are you following? So when I can apply this rule, statute contains enumeration of specific words, multiple specific words, lion, tiger, cheetah. The subject of enumeration constitutes a class of wild animals. The class is not exhausted by enumeration. I didn't write all the wild animals here, I wrote only few. General terms follow enumeration and there is no other intention, Law is not trying to communicate anything else. Important for exam. Exception when the rule is not applicable. If I write animals and other animals, both are general words. Rule applicable only if general word follows specific words. Here I am writing both are general, correct? So rule is not applicable. So if preceding is general and succeeding also is general, where the particular words exhaust the whole genus. That means what? No more words. If there are totally 1200 animals, I wrote all the names. Then I am writing other animals. What other animals? You are? No. Are you following? New species if it comes. But as of now it's there? No. Following, guys. Clear? Suddenly, unless someone dog bites, he became like an animal. Then, so exhausting the whole species. Then, where the specific objects enumerated are diverse in character. Specific, I'm trying to cover all the like wild animals and sea animals and birds, animals that can fly, reptiles and other animals. What other animals? My specific words is covering all the class. Following, guys. Sometimes law will tell, don't use this rule, then I can't use this rule. That's what they're saying. Where there's an express intention of legislature that the general term shall not be read using the principle of adjustum generis. Adjustum generis means general word following specific words. This was tested in a recent attempt. Which one? May. Recent, last 2-3 attempts it was tested. Now, this exceptional construction becomes very important for November 23. Are you following, guys? November 23 it's important because they haven't tested for a long time. Sir, I am going to skip interpretation of statutes. At least read this and go. Fine. Clear, guys? Now, what is exceptional construction? Some and or may shall. And means what? Joining two words. Follow both. Or means this or that, you know. May means it's optional, directive in nature. Shall is mandatory, obligation. But we are not reading that. Rule is called rule of exceptional construction. That means in some cases and will be read as or, in some case or read as and, may read as shall and shall read as may. Are you following? For example, in section 127, they are saying liable for imprisonment up to 2 years and penalty of rupees 1000 per day. I paid dividend on 33rd day. How many days default? So for 3 days I paid 3000 penalty. I am paying 18% interest. Imprisonment up to 2 years. What is the law? Imprisonment up to 2 years and penalty. If the word and is used there, can I imprison you for 3 days delay? So and will be read as based on situation. Are you following? I am giving you example. So in this question, what is important to remember for exam, sir? I understood concept. When will may be read as shall? When will shall be read as may? Sometimes they will say the tribunal shall respond within. It is what? May. Are you following, guys? So whenever shall is used against the government, it will be treated as. So this is important. This is what I want you to remember. For example, when will may be read as shall? When will shall be read as may? Look at shall. Shall will be read as may when it's used against the government or the intention of legislature so demands, or will giving a mandatory interpretation would result in absurd results. You shall respond within 48 hours. Sometimes practically not possible. COVID came. Notice shall be sent 21 days before AGM. COVID came. I am not able to hold. AGM. Are you following, guys? These three you have to remember. When may is read as shall, where the subject involves discretion coupled with an obligation. Auditor may attend the AGM, but it's an obligation to attend. So there may is read as shall. Where the word may has been used in statute as a matter of pure time pass, I used may. Intention is shall. Conventional courtesy, for formality I used. Don't raise formality. Pure conventional courtesy. Using may as directive provision might defeat the object of the act. For example, 62 subsection 4. Government may convert the loan to equity and increase the authorized capital. But if I don't do that, public will be affected. So may will be used as shall. These 6 points please memorize. Important for November 23. Haven't asked in a long time. Clear? Next set of 2 rules. Fine. Follow, guys. These 2 rules I'll quickly explain. No sectare sources and contemporary no exposito. Very simple. When I use the word plant and machinery, can I say plant means rose plant? It's what? Equipment. Correct? So, when 2 words are used together, don't give them individual meaning. Read them together. This rule is also called rule of associated words. When 2 or more words are used together, they have to be understood in their cognate sense. Read them together. Are you following, guys? That's what is there here. When 2 words are associated with each other, read them together. In other laws, down I will give one small circle in simple words what to write. Are you following? That helps us a lot. Clear? Next, this doctrine of contemporary exposito. How many times have you seen in law penalty will be very small? In foundation, raised horse 500 rupees. Then Price and Competition Act 1000 rupees. If you are not a CA and if you tell people you are a CA, penalty is 1000 rupees. If you are not a CA and if you sign as a CA, penalty is 1000 rupees. Because when the law was made in 1949 for CA Act, 1000 was a big amount. When Contract Act was made in 1872, 500 is a. So they are saying, try to read the law at the time when the law was made. So you will understand better. But today, it's not 1000. Amended. ICAI finally amended in 2021 that if you not a CA but if you act like a CA, penalty is 10 lakhs. Are you following, guys? So I'm clarifying. First I told you before amendment. Now they have amended it. Following, guys. So now if you are not a CA and tell you are a CA and sign, how much? 10 lakhs. Clear, guys? So that is what they are saying. Try to understand the law at the time when it was passed. So with this, we are done with what, guys? All the rules. Rules of interpretation is done. This small dabbas is what I wrote for you to easily understand. Clear, guys? Now we have to go for aids of interpretation. But before that, let me go for interpretation of deeds and documents, which is again important for November 23. Following, guys. Hello. Yes. Interpretation of deeds and documents has 3 parts. golden rules, elementary rule, conflict resolution. Following, guys? Able to follow? Let me explain. For example, I'm going to give examples fully in other laws. Let's say, next to Sandhya, your name? Sneha. Sneha, let's say, after finishing CA, she shifted to Mumbai for work. So she wanted to go and stay in a new apartment. She found an apartment where the rent is 50k per month, Mumbai expensive, so she signed up. To make the rental agreement, she wanted to go for some service. There was some CS or CA who said, I will do it, or advocate gave rental agreement. Let's say Sandhya is doing the rental agreement for her. Sandhya, when she doing rental agreement, what she wrote rupees 50,000. No, she wrote in words, she wrote 50,000, but amount by mistake she wrote 5 lakhs and she signed the agreement. Owner also signed it. Now after first month rent, Sneha paid 50k as rent. Landlord is saying, hello ma'am, 5 lakhs. Then she's saying, why should I pay 5 lakhs? She calls Sandhya. Sandhya is like, oh, I didn't know, I'm sorry. But now owner is saying, pay 5 lakhs or leave the house. Sneha is new to Mumbai. She can use golden rule of interpreting deeds. Whatever rules I told so far are for interpreting law. Deeds and documents are what people enter among ourselves. You are joining a class. They will tell fill application form and sign terms and conditions. You are going to a movie. They give you a ticket with terms and conditions. How to interpret those deeds and documents. Company website will have terms and conditions, all of that. Golden rule says, read the document as a whole. Read the document as a whole. Here main thing they are saying, refer to the experience and training of the parties who have drafted that document. Who drafted? Sandhya. She is doing articleship in advocate firm. She is the first document she drafted and gave Sneha. So she made mistake. Don't give importance to her experience. Court is saying, no, you can't take it as 5 lakhs. Read the document as a whole. One place 50k, one place 5 lakhs. Square feet, 800 square feet apartment she is saying, staying single bedroom apartment. Why should she pay 5 lakhs rent? Read the document as a whole. The circumstance in which particular words are used to be considered. And then court will say, sorry, she doesn't have to pay 5 lakhs, 50k is enough. Are you understanding, guys? Clear? Next is elementary rule. Sandhya drafted in the rental agreement. You should not keep plants near plant and machinery. The meaning of this plant and this plant, is it the same? No. Now read the rule. That the same word cannot have two different meanings in the same document unless the context compels such an adoption. So here, even though plant is different, here the meaning is different because the context compels for the same. But everywhere else, wherever she used the word plant and machinery in the document, will have the same meaning. Are you following, guys? Clear? Hello? Now next, in the rental agreement, the owner told, no friends allowed in the house. So, in first page, Sandhya wrote, in the apartment, no friends are allowed to come home. In the third page, she wrote, friends can come home. Are you following? So, a document where first page is telling, friends cannot come home. Third page is saying, friends can come home. Conflicting provisions within the same document. What to do? Which one to follow? First page or third page? Law says, now this entire document is drafted on the same day. They are saying whenever there is a conflict try to solve the conflict. Same thing in life. Whenever there's a problem, try to solve the problem. That's what this rule says. If you are unable to solve the problem, whatever is read first applies. Because this is what I read first and signed. Are you following, guys? So, if there is a conflict, document is in conflict with another part, then the earlier part will prevail over the later part. Are you following, guys? Hello? This is interpretation of deeds and documents, golden rule, elementary rule, conflict resolution. Either any one can come, or if they ask in exam, what do you mean by interpretation of deeds and document? Write all the 3 for 4 marks. Clear, guys? With the same logic, let's say we have Indian Contract Act 18, Sale of Goods Act 39 now, 30. Okay. Now, these two acts have a conflict. They have a conflict. Let's say regarding something, same transaction, both acts are saying different. Which one to follow? This only came first, Contract Act. This came next. Which one to follow? How many of you Sale of Goods Act? Next, GST came in 2016, 17. Now, GST has something else. Sale of Goods Act has something else. Which to follow? GST. When it comes to law, first is not first. Latest act will override the earlier law. Logic is, when I wrote Sale of Goods Act, I knew about Indian Contract Act. When I wrote GST Act, I knew about Sale of Goods Act. Are you following, guys? Clear? That's why I gave in the same page. If you see here, same page I wrote. If it's interpretation of deeds and documents, earlier will prevail over later. But if it is for law, then later, where is that? Later act may be used to interpret the earlier act. New law and hence can be made for non-constitutional unrepealed part. Earlier and later acts. In later acts, look at this. Yeah, this is it. Refer to the act that is enacted at a later date. Opposite. Are you understanding? Logic is simple. For act, there are many years different. So I know what happened in the past. But deeds, it's all written on the same day, belonging to the same document. Are you following, guys? Important area. These two are important. Clear? Now next, let me go for internal and external aids. How this will come in exam. Follow. I will do this quickly in a different way. Follow. I think it's not scrolling this, but I'll manage. Fine. Follow. I hope you can see this. Internal aids and external aids means internal aids help things within the law, which can help me understand the law. External aids means things outside the law, which can help me understand the law better. So, for example, if I take historical setting, if I take this external aid of historical setting, let me take the act, Nirbhaya Act, says a juvenile will be hanged to death if he commits the crime. Now, if somebody in 2050 is reading this law after 50 years, he will think, why are you hanging a juvenile for 15 years? Nobody, that time people will not know what happened when the Nirbhaya incident happened. Whole country went into a protest. So that was the reason for the act. Understand the history and the importance why the law was made while you are interpreting the law. Tomorrow if some other juvenile, some case happens, you can't tell leave him go. Understand the act now came in because of an incident. Are you following, guys? Clear? Like that, internal aids What's within the law which I can use for understanding? This how they will ask in exam. Don't mug up internal or external aids. He will ask, what is preamble? 4 marks, 3 marks. What is illustration? 3 marks. We are going to see whether I can use this to interpret the section or not. Okay, let me finish external aids first. Already we finished this earlier and later. Just now I showed you earlier and later. Later will prevail over earlier. Always first try to solve both. If you are not able to solve, later prevails over earlier. Next, can I use foreign decisions in understanding Indian law? Hello, Solomon versus Solomon. So what the provision is saying, first see if for this case is there an Indian law. Yes, there is an Indian law. Then follow the Indian case law. If there is no Indian case law, then follow the foreign case law. Are you following, guys? Clear? Dictionary definition. Can I use dictionary, Oxford dictionary to understand law? First see if the term is defined in the act in section 2. Otherwise, next check General Clause Act. If it's not defined anywhere, for general words, I can use what? Dictionary definitions. Following, guys. Next, consolidating statutes of previous and earlier laws. GST came, VAT, service tax went, and it became GST. So, consolidating statutes in previous laws means try to understand why GST came. It came to merge other laws. Clear? Usage. This is basically in Foundation Sale of Goods Act, trade usage. Xerox means what? It's a company name. But today nobody, you know also, we still use the word Xerox. Xerox means taking photocopy. Correct? Fridge is what? Refrigerator. But fridge is the name of the company. Yes, fridge was the name of the first company which launched the refrigerator. But still we use what? Fridge. So, they are saying sometimes if law says this, but the public trade usage believes something else for a particular situation, and this something else is being followed for many years, then this will override the law. Are you following, guys? Usage means trade usage. How is this law being used by public in general? Are you following, guys? Clear? So with this we are done with what? External aids. Internal aids, simple. Long title, preamble, heading, first 3. Can I use that to understand section? Can I use that to understand section? If there is a doubt in section, you can use that to interpret the section. But it cannot change the meaning or it cannot override the section. Title, Companies Act. If you have a doubt in provision, you can understand this section is for the Companies Act. Are you following, guys? Preamble. What is preamble? Object, purpose of the act. So when you're reading an act, if you have a doubt in interpretation, refer to preamble to understand the object of the act. But preamble cannot override the act. Preamble cannot override the section. But it can be used to understand the section. Headings. Every chapter has a heading. Private placement, heading. Can I use heading to understand the section? Yes. But it cannot override the section or the act. Marginal notes is the only thing which cannot be used for interpretation. What is it, guys? Marginal notes is the only thing that cannot be used for interpretation. Why? Marginal notes in act are in the side like a reference notes, which is how a law is passed. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President will sign. That only is Parliament. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Then President will sign. That only law is passed. After law is passed, I add some notes. That's called marginal notes. So it never went through process of approval. So marginal notes cannot be used for interpretation. Following, guys. Hello. Definition sections. Yes, it's used to understand the definition. Under definition section, we have something called ambiguous definition or ambiguous definition. Whenever there is confusion in a definition, take the meaning giving importance to the context where it is used. Are you following, guys? Then illustration. In many acts, they give examples, especially Contract Act, Sale of Goods Act, full of examples. So, if the section is there and then there is an, can the illustration override the section? No. Can the illustration increase the scope of section? No. Illustration can be used only to better understand the section. It cannot widen or narrow down the scope of the section. That is illustration. Following, guys. These are the points that will be given. Proviso, you all know. In proviso, they will give you what is proviso, what is exception. Proviso means not applicable for everybody. Not applicable for everybody. Exception means for that class of people, it's not applicable. Are you following, guys? Schedules, you all know. Companies Act, Schedule 7, CSR. Companies Act, Schedule 3, format of balance sheet. Will that override the section? It should be read along with the section. In conclusion, nothing can override the section. Read the statute as a whole. Read the whole statute as a whole. Don't read 20 sections of Sale of Goods Act and tell, I know Sale of Goods Act, I am done. Read all the 64 Act sections and then make your conclusions. Harmonious conclusion, interpretation. Are you following, guys? With this, interpretation of statutes comes to an end. I told you what's important, what's not important. Following, guys, understanding. See, in real class, I spend 2.5 hours to 3 hours here. I show real examples, give more examples, make you write. This is what class? Marathon. So I'm going to be extremely fast. Clear? If anybody watching wants detailed videos, I'll give description link. You can go watch if you have the time still. Okay. Following, guys. Clear? Next we'll move to General Clause Act. The act that you always skip. Follow, guys. General Clause Act, I'll exactly tell you what to read. There is a lot of things, but past exam questions. In this act, they are asking questions like case study based. We will discuss that. Follow. Now, in one exam, they asked not once, twice they asked in the last 5 attempts. What is a financial year? I'm not joking. What is a? What's the answer? April to March. 4 marks. That's it. Sorry? MTP also. MTP November 22 exam. It came in main exam twice. If you didn't study, they asked what is financial year as per General Clause Act. You will get confused. You will learn water. You will learn maybe Jan to December. You won't know. Because you will skip this act. But answer is what? April to. Like that, I'm going to cover some concepts. Okay. Fine. I would have reclassified this chapter a lot for our classroom discussion. Fine. So let me quickly go through definitions one by one. Leave the memorizing part. They are not asking memorizing. It's about concepts. This act, they are not asking direct questions. They are asking concept questions. So I'll quickly in the next 30-40 minutes get through the concepts. Are you all with me, guys? Hello. Act. Let's say Mohit wanted to murder someone. Mohit wanted to murder Santosh. Okay. Now for this, Santosh is there. Mohit has been planning for 1 week what to do. He bought a gun. Then he hired Charan. Then they have been tracking Santosh every day, where Santosh is going. One day after class, when Santosh is going home, they both caught Santosh. And Santosh pushed them like this. Now, are you following, guys? Then police arrested Mohit and Charan. Then, will they arrest? No, they found gun. The act of kidnap includes not only the act of kidnap, but all the things that he did to do a kidnap. So act includes series of acts. Him buying the gun is also an act. Are you following, guys? That's it. Act includes what? Series of acts. Affidavit, you guys know. Read the definition. You have seen so many movies. Promise in front of court. I will tell only the truth. That one. Swearing, all of that. Clear, guys? That's it. Financial year. Came in exam twice. 4 marks question. 4 marks. I had doubt and went and checked. 3 or 4 marks. 4-mark question. What is financial year? First day of April. And what is calendar year? Jan 2. Who knows? This time we will ask you. What is calendar year as per General Clause Act? Jan 2. December. Clear, guys? Next. When does an act come into force? Today, if you just remember for 1 hour. See, even if I am doing a topic, I want to do it in detail in marathon. Okay. If you remember General Clause Act this much, see how much it comes in exam. Next. An act is passed on 1st Feb 2014. President signed on 14th Feb 2014. When is the act effective? Date of sign of president or the date mentioned in law? Which one? Date mentioned. If there is a date mentioned in the official gazette, I know you guys like 14th Feb, but what date is mentioned in the official gazette? That date only is valid. If no date is mentioned here, then act is coming into effect from the date on which president signs. Commencement many times came in RTP and MTP. So follow, guys. What they are saying, look at this. Where any date is specified in enforcement in official gazette, act will come in that date. That's it. Where no date is mentioned, then it will be on the date on which president gives his assent. That's it. Are you following? Next. Is building an immovable property? Is fish swimming in the ocean immovable property? Fish swimming in the ocean, guys. As per General Clause Act, fish is an immovable property. Apple on the tree is an immovable property. Until you pluck, it becomes a movable property. Are you following, guys? Clear? So, I want you to memorize only 3 definitions in this act. Only 3. The first one is definition of immovable property. Immovable property shall include land, benefits arising out of land, things attached to the earth, things permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. Look at the example. Shall include land. We all know what's land. Benefits arising out of land. Tree, fish, then growing crops, apple, all of that. Things attached to earth. Plant and machinery, land and building. Things permanently fastened to anything attached to earth. Let's say for the building, I fix the window. Permanently fixed, I can't remove it. You can only break it. Are you following, guys? So this is immovable property. Memorize this definition. Recording students, pause, write 3 times and memorize. You guys, I'll make you write later. You write it, memorize definition of immovable property. Again, immovable property shall include land, benefits arising out of land, things attached to earth, things permanently fastened to anything attached to earth. That's it. Following, guys. Let's continue to next set of definitions. Government, we studied in school. Government means has that lion, 4 lines, 3 lines means what? Each line represents that emblem guys. Emblem, school, social studies. You remember studying 4 lines, emblem represents what? Executive, judiciary, legislative. 8th standard social studies. Now again it's back in General Clause Act. Government includes 3 departments: legislature, law; executive, operational; judiciary, courts. That's it. Can come in MCQ. Are you following, guys? Hello? Done. Then definition of writing. I'm focusing on important definition. Writing includes printing, lithography, photography and other modes of representing. MCQ important. Lithography means what? Printing on metals, stone. Are you following, guys? Mohit went and printed on the beach in the sand. No. Writing means lithography includes printing process that use the flat stone or a metal plate. Are you following, guys? MCQ, don't have to mug up. Clear? Can we proceed, guys? Next, what do you mean by official gazette? Many times we will keep seeing what is official gazette. Correct? Publish in official gazette. Today, if you want to give an update, where do you give update? Instagram story, Twitter, Facebook, about your life. That's it. If you want to announce to public, one story you will put. Correct? Same thing. If government wants to update something, Modi ji will come and put a tweet or put a post. We will all know. Correct? But what about in 1897? The publishing happens in official gazette, which is the official newspaper of government, which is published by Press Trust of India. What is important for MCQ? It's published weekly. It's published on a weekly basis. Gazette prints official notices from the government. It's printed by Government of India Press. That's it. MCQ he can ask. Official gazette published weekly, monthly, quarterly, half yearly. Weekly. Yes, that's it. Done, guys. Second definition I want you to read. Definition of good faith. Are you following, guys? Hello? Now, in Sale of Goods Act, we studied something called, let's say you go to a shop and buy a pen. The pen is not writing. If you go back, will he exchange? No. Let the buyer beware. You go to a supermarket, buy some mangoes. After coming home, all the mangoes are spoiled. If you go, will he exchange? He may exchange, but he doesn't have to exchange. Caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. So we studied in Sale of Goods Act many times. Whenever buyer is buying anything, you have to do an ordinary examination, reasonable examination before buying something. Correct? You have to do a reasonable examination. That is the concept of good faith, but exception, good faith is not applicable if the buyer is careless or negligent. Correct? If you are careless, who's liable? Me. But in General Clause Act, it's opposite. As per General Clause Act, if pen is not writing, you can go exchange. If mangoes are not good, you can go exchange. Buyer can be negligent. Buyer can be careless. At least tested 3 times already in last 6 attempts. Definition of good faith. A thing shall be deemed to be done in good faith, where in fact it is done honestly whether it is done negligently or not. Are you following, guys? Memorize this definition. Second definition. Are you following, guys? So, good faith and immovable property. Clear, guys? Hello? Are you following? Next. Writing in a book. Can I call it a document? Writing in the hand. Is it a document? Writing on my face. Is it a document? Charan went to IPL match. He removed his shirt, wrote CSK and he was running. Is that a document? Mohit went to the beach. In the sand he wrote something. Is that a document? As per General Clause Act, whatever you write, wherever, that becomes a document. But before that, let me finish off this page. If suddenly this time we will ask you, what is a month? Financial year. Month definition is to be reckoned as British calendar. That means what you know. Jan, Feb, March, April. Jan means 31 days. Feb means 28 days. Leave this. Income Tax Act month is 30 days. General Clause Act month is what you and I know. November means 30 days. Exam. I asked if you know. Okay. Then movable property other than immovable property. All that is done. Now come back to last definition. Sorry. Imprisonment not a big deal. Imprisonment is imprisonment as defined under Indian Penal Code and other acts. That's it. This is the definition of document, guys. I hope you can see. Document shall include the third definition I want you to memorize. That's it. What are the, see, other definitions, learn the concept. What is it? Act, official gazette, all of that. Memorize immovable property, good faith and document, but memorize and also learn the concept. Immovable property, what's the concept you know? Good faith, you know the concept. Clear? Innocently or not. Even if you do carelessly, you are having the benefit. So here look at the concept of, I will tell the concept of document. Any matter written, expressed or described upon any substance, wall, hand, face, notebook, beach, anywhere, by means of letters, figures or marks. Sir, I am using symbols, no problem, marks, or by more than one of those means. Why I wrote on the beach? To communicate something and record that, which is intended to be used or which may be used for the purpose of recording that matter. Tattoo is a document. Yes. Fine, guys. Hello. I'm not going to ask you. Tattoo. No, I mean, tattoo is a document. Following, guys. So whatever you write, anything, the projector, the screen you are able to see is a document because I wrote something. No, need not be permanent. I scribbled something. This is what? Document. By means of mark. This is my mark. Are you following, guys? For the purpose of recording that matter. Are you following, guys? Definition of document. That is the definition. Who knows? They will ask, what is, he will give a question in exam. He wrote something on the hand. Is it a document? As per General Clause Act, it's a document. Following, guys. Bit paper, it's a document. Don't do it, guys. 5 years debarred from exam. Clear, guys? Anybody thinking of copying, just think of one thing. If somebody vomits, will you drink that? That's like that. Copying, if somebody is giving, how will you copy? You should feel disgusted to copy. Okay. My English teacher told me this in school. After that, I stopped copying. So I'm telling you, guys. Follow, guys. Okay. Registered means registered in the law. Stamp duty, all of that. Now what I did, I have basically taken General Clause Act, full act, I have classified into, in the book, as key provisions from the entire act. Whatever I feel is relevant and important. Act is very big. We don't have time to see the whole act. But what is the key provision? At least read this. The definition, and at least read this. Look at this. I used to give provision, then simple terms. General Clause Act looks difficult in exam because we read the provision. If you read this in any legislature, it is sufficient for the purpose of excluding the first in a series or days or period. Use the word from, including the word to. It's confusing. I gave simple words. What to remember? Whole act I simplified like this in one line. In simple terms, from is used to exclude the day from which the deadline starts, and to is used to include the day on which deadline ends. If I say dividend is to, let's say, dividend is to be declared within 30 days from 15th October. Will you count 15th October? No. If they use the word 30 days to 31st October, then I will include 31st October. Following us, generally we use only from. Then many times you will ask, sir, why sir? Law is so discriminatory. They are always using the word he, not using the word she. When is the law made? 1950s, 1930, 1897, in a period of discrimination. So they did that. Now they bought and they are saying, while importing the masculine gender, it will also include feminine. That's it. General Clause Act clarifies. First of all, when is General Clause Act applicable to whom? I should have started with that. When is General Clause Act applicable? It's applicable to all the central acts. SEBI, Companies Act, Income Tax Act, all the central acts, when certain terms are not defined in the General Clause Act, when certain terms are not defined in those specific acts like Companies Act, SEBI, etc., I will refer to the General Clause Act to get the meaning for the same. Are you following, guys? Hello? However, in cases where law is he includes she. But sometimes where law is specific, such an assumption cannot be made. I wrote this before. Earlier they said Karta is only eldest male member. Correct? That time can I say male includes female? Female member also is Karta? No. When law is specifically telling male member, then include only male member. But today amendment happened. Karta is the eldest member in the family, whether it's male or female. Clear, guys? Same way they are saying words in singular shall include plural. If sometimes they say previous year, it can include previous years. However, where it's used, it depends on the case where it is used. Income tax, resident, previous 7 years. You can't tell previous 70 years. When law is specific, use that. Following, guys. Next, look at this, guys. Such a big thing. Computation of time. Computation of time, guys. This we know. When a due date falls, I'm leaving this provision, leave that. Simple terms. When a due date falls on a holiday, the due date shall be deemed to be extended by 1 day or the day when authority is next. Earlier days, CA exam, no online. You have to go and register manually. COVID came, institute closed. That means you can register until whenever the institute is open next. Are you following? When due date falls on a holiday, it's not the next day. It's the next working day when the authority is open. For the purpose of General Clauses Act. Are you understanding, guys? Hello? Then next, measurement of distance. When law is silent, income tax also we learn the same thing. If you want to measure distance between 2 points, it's the straight line between 2 points. Correct? You can't use Google Maps distance, or you can't use crow flying distance. Not flight. It's basically a straight line between two geographical straight lines. But if Income Tax Act, for example, allows to use Google Maps for measuring distance between 2 points. Then I can use, that's what, this point. Are you following, guys? Next, some more key provisions, important ones. This they tested so many times. I'm going to take only key provisions, guys. Okay. Measurement, meaning of service by post. Meaning of service by post. Are you all with me, guys? Hello. Here what they are saying, where any legislation, basically this came in November 22. When I am sending a post, see, if the act is telling send in courier, can you send in post? No. If act is telling send in registered post, acknowledgement due, that means sometimes we get a post and they will ask us to sign up. That is called registered post, acknowledgement due. Whenever you have a registered post acknowledgement due, if the law is saying use registered post, the post is valid if you are properly given the address, prepaid, and it's sent by registered post. That's enough. Whether it reached or not is not my fault. Clear, guys? One exam question. Income tax department sent a notice to, let's say, Mukesh. Mukesh is not in the house. Mukesh is tenant. Sai Kiran is there. Sai Kiran told Mukesh, he's not here. Take the notice, give it back. Can Mukesh tell he never got the notice? No. It is properly served if I send to his correct proper address available, prepaid and sent in registered post. Following, guys. Then some provisions follow. Where rules of a statute requires notice to be sent by registered post acknowledgement due, it should be sent only by registered post. I mean, if you send by registered post, it's not tenable. Are you following? When they ask you to send in registered post acknowledgement due, if you send in some other way, it's not valid. Next, where a notice is sent by landlord, that same example, Mukesh, if I send to landlord, if tenant rejects it, that means I have sent a valid post. Are you all able to follow, guys? If I send to the proper address, it is equal to sending. Whether you receive or not, is not my fault. Clear, guys? Last two concepts, guys. I'm going to take last two concepts in General Clause Act. There are other things, other miscellaneous concepts never tested so far. I won't be taking that. I'll be taking last two key concepts. Simple. Okay. Let's say we'll take Saravanan. Okay. Saravanan. Example Saravanan, don't take personally. Okay. Saravanan, let's say, did pickpocket. Okay. Fine, he did a pickpocket. Now after this, let's say he did pickpocket of, I forgot, Kishore. Kishore I remembered, but I forgot. Kishore. He did pickpocket of Kishore, from Kishore. Kishore is staying in which place? Sorry? Arakonam. Pickpocket happened in Nungambakam. Then Saravanan is staying where? Coimbatore. Okay. For those who are not from Chennai, just three locations. So Saravanan is from Coimbatore, Kishore is from Arakonam. Pickpocket happened in. So immediately Kishore caught him, took him to the police station. Nungambakam police station took Saravanan in, kept him for 1 day, gave him treatment and sent him out. Then next day, Kishore went to his home, Arakonam, and filed case again. Arakonam police station came in search of Saravanan, took him to Arakonam, gave treatment, sent him back. Then again, Coimbatore police station came and told, you forgot me. They came to Saravanan's house, took him, gave treatment, sent him back. 3 times. For the same offense, he is arrested. what will happen? Is it valid? Why? For one offense and one mistake, I can punish you only once. I did a mistake. I said sorry. But sometimes people in our life will keep fighting with us for the same thing. Oh, over. Why are you always fighting? So if you make a mistake or if you make a default in law only once, are you following, guys? Clear? No, somebody else is thinking, sir, drink and drive. Once I get caught means can I go home? Are you following? Now, what law is saying, if you are for the same offense, you cannot be punished twice. For example, if you do insider trading, that means knowing inside news, then you are punishable in SEBI Act for 25 crores, Companies Act also 10 crores. Can I do punishable both? No. If you are convicted for an offense, same offense in two different acts, which one to punish you? Any one, court will decide which police station to take Saravanan, any one, not all three. Same thing over here. Following, guys, Saravanan example, don't get angry. I'm seeing him after almost 2 years. 2 years. 1 year, last year only. May, correct. Yes. He would have thought why I came today. Okay. In that batch also, for all examples, I use Saravanan only. Saravanan and Kishore. So to continue the tradition, I thought we'll finish with that. So follow, guys. Here, what they are saying, see, where an act constitutes an offence under two or more enactments, then he is liable to be prosecuted under any one, not both. Constitution of India says, Article 20, you cannot punish someone twice for the same offence. Following, guys. But Saravanan did pickpocket and slapped Kishore and went. So it's two offence. Pickpocket is separate, slapping is separate. Now he can't tell, I am arrested for pickpocket. That means I am arrested for slapping also. No. Both are two separate offences. So, however, the above principle applies only when the two offences which form the same prosecution is the same. If the offences under the two enactments are distinct and not identical, slapping and pickpocket are different, then the provision will not apply. Following, guys. Clear? Then for the pickpocket case, they left Saravanan. They sent him back home. Can I say for slapping case also I will send him back home? Are you following, guys? I'll repeat. Two cases. One is pickpocket, one is slap. For pickpocket, they left him. Okay, Pavam, leave it. They left. For slapping case, also can I say he is left? No. That is last point. Where there are two alternative charges, two cases on you, two charges in the same trial, in the same case, the fact that you are accused, the accused, in our example, Saravanan, is acquitted of one charge will not bar his conviction of the leaving you in one issue does not mean I am leaving you in the other issue. Three concepts are distinct. Same problem, two different laws, punish only in one. But if these both are not identical, get punishment for both. Both are in the same case, leaving you in one, acquitted, did not do this fault, does not mean you are escaping in the other. But use the law terms. Are you following, guys? Alternative charges, distinct and not identical, and all of this. This concept is provision as to offence punishable under two or more enactments. Then there are some more miscellaneous concepts in this unit. Never tested those things. I am not going there. Last thing. Last thing that you have to remember, effect of repeal. With that we will close GCA Act. Are you following? Is that easy? So far what I discussed, that only has been tested in the exam in the last 10 attempts. Other things are yet to be tested. But You will read, but marathon I'm focusing on what is tested. Effect of repeal. One more thing to memorize. I will give a simple question. Before GST, what came? Sorry, what was there? Service tax. Leave it guys. Now, in VAT and service tax, Shirley got a penalty. She had to pay a penalty. Now, in GST, she is telling, I will not pay because it's a new act. Can she tell that? No. Are you following, guys? Old penalties will be carried forward. GST talks about input tax credit. In VAT and service tax, she has ITC. After GST comes, can she carry forward? Yes. So, effect of repeal means end of the old law. If the old law is repealed, comes to an end, does not mean the rights, liabilities, provisions, powers in the old law will come to an end. Are you following, guys? So, effect of repeal, what they are saying, revive, let's come from reverse. I hope it's readable for you guys. So, affect any inquiry, litigation or remedy. If any litigation or case started in the old law, it will continue in the current law. You need to remember these five side headings. They might ask for 4 or 5 marks. What is the effect of repeal? They have asked in the past. General Clause Act, if you are skipping, at least read what I told them. No, that's it. Rest you can skip. Any inquiry, litigation or remedy in the old act will continue in the new act. Affect any penalty. Any old penalty will continue in current act. Following, Kishore. Affect any right. Earlierly I had a right. Now also I will continue with that right. Clear? Affect the previous operation. In old Companies Act 1956, I am registered as a company. Now against the re-register, no need. Register once it is sufficient. Following, guys? Clear? But unless what? Any enactment repeal, duly done or suffer. So whatever is done in old will continue here. Revive anything not enforced. What they are saying, if I delete or cancel, or the right word is repeal Companies Act 2013, will the old act come into force? If I close GST tomorrow, will I say VAT is back? If you want to bring VAT back, bring VAT back. Okay, that is the last point. Revive anything not enforced or prevailed during the period which repeal is affected. Following, guys, this is effect of repeal. Memorize this. What are the other points which I am not seeing, which is never tested? For example, this one is never tested. Like this, there are some 10 to 15 concepts which you have to go through. In the book, for every concept I would have given a simple word. Let me give an example. Follow. In income tax office, one order went to the commissioner. Should commissioner follow that or full department should follow? Full department should follow. That's a provision we have. To invite Mohit, assume Mohit, or let's say inviting Kishore. Kishore becomes the future president of ICAI. Now to invite him, I can either invite him calling Kishore, or I can invite him, welcome president of ICAI. Can Kishore tell, no, you didn't call my name? So using the word president of ICAI means I'm calling Kishore. Are you following, guys? Like this, there are some concepts. Simple words I have given. Let me take this one. Income Tax Act says, compute net profit as per Companies Act 1956. book profits. Then this act is deleted, replaced with 13 Act. But in Income Tax Act 1961, the wordings are still net profit as per Companies Act 1956. Correct? Huh? Some other acts will still use the word Companies Act. They are saying that means it's Companies Act 2013. Now read this. What they are saying here. In simple words, where Act X refers to a provision in Act Y, where Income Tax Act is X, where Income Tax Act refers to a provision in Act Y, Companies Act, and the provision of Act I has been replaced by a new Act, Companies Act 2013 replaced Companies Act 1956, then it is deemed that Income Tax Act shall refer to the new Act, Companies Act 2013, even if the wordings in Act X, Income Tax Act, is not yet changed. Beautiful concept. They never tested. What they tested? What is financial year? You are lucky, fine. Like this, there are some 10 to 15 concepts. Clear, guys? If I am testing question paper, this will be the question. If I am framing, but I can't frame, but just saying. Following, guys. Like this, there are some small concepts. I'll show them to you in the book. We finished all the key provisions. Yeah, powers and functionaries. If I have to quickly run through them. Now, police has the power to check for drink and drive whenever he wants. Should he call and get permission every day? No. Here they are saying if somebody has the power, he can exercise whenever he wants. I am appointing Saravanan as the class leader. Can I remove him again? Same thing. Here, if the authority has power to appoint somebody, they also have the power to, if somebody has the power to appoint, I have the power to suspend or dismiss them. Are you following, guys? Like this concepts. This is the ICAI one, Kishore, ICAI one, this one. Then, now I informed, Saravanan some rules regarding class. He is the class leader. Saravanan did not come. So I appointed some other class leader. Should I inform him again? No. Informing Saravanan is equal to informing the successor. Are you following, guys? Substitution of functionaries. If I inform one person, it means everybody is informed. This only is successor. If I inform the current commissioner of income tax something, it is deemed to inform the next commissioner of income tax also. Are you following, guys? Then I gave some work to Saravanan to do the work. He delegated that to last row. I forgot your name. Behind Kishore. Anthony, yes, okay. Now, let's say I gave some work to Kishore. Kishore gave it to Anthony. Now, should Anthony follow the instructions I gave to Kishore? Yes. If I give you a work, if you delegate to somebody, the person to whom I delegate also should follow this. Are you following, guys? Clear, guys? With this General Clause Act, I am finishing. Are you following, guys? Key provisions also are done. So what we have left is Indian Contract Act, which I am not covering in marathon. In the description of this video, like how I said, CSR and auditors will be there. I will keep Indian Contract Act, but that comes to around 9 hours plus. Who's going to watch? You are not going to watch. So I will not keep the link. If you want, you message me. Okay. Fine. Recording, I'm talking to recording student. Next, Negotiable Instrument Act only is left. You guys decide. Shall we do or close? Do it. Yeah, we'll do it. 100%. Break or continue? 5 minutes break. See, how much the Negotiable Instrument Act in regular batch will take? 9 hours. 6 hours. 30 to 45 minutes. I'll maximum close. 30 to 45 minutes. Take a small 5-minute break. And then we will resume after 5 minutes. Last video, Negotiable Instrument Act. We're going to have a 45-minute session. Last one, 45 minutes only we will close for Negotiable Instruments Act. I will run through all the key provisions, important ones that's there for the exam, whatever you can remember. At this point, the assumption is you know what is a negotiable instrument. It is a bill of exchange, promissory note, or a check. These three. You know the parties for a negotiable instrument also. Bills has a, first promissory note, maker, pay. Person who makes it, first pay to whom money is going to be paid. Check, drawer, drawee, pay. In bills also we have same, drawer, drawee, pay. Basically, pay is the person in all the three cases who's going to receive the money. Okay, following guys. In check, drawee is always a bank because you draw it on the bank. This is the basics. Okay, now we'll get into the Act, Negotiable Instrument Act. I will straight away go to the key provisions. What all can come in exam? I'll go in a particular order. First, what is bearer and order instrument? Bearer means blank instrument, like blank check. Name is not there. Order instrument means party's name is mentioned. Following guys. Next, inland and foreign instrument. Sir, there is a complicated chart. I will give you in simple. There are three things to look at in a negotiable instrument. Who is the drawer? Where is it drawn? On whom it is drawn. Yeah. And then where is it payable? So leave the drawer part. We are going to mainly focus on where is it drawn, on whom it is drawn, where is it. So how many things to decide guys? Three things. Where is it drawn? India, USA, China. On whom is it drawn? Person resident in India or not resident in India. Where is it payable? Payable in India, payable outside India. In these three, it's like a majority guys. 2 out of 3 should be in. Then it's a inland. That's it. Simple. This is the shortcut. Where is it drawn? Drawn in India. David Warner came, one man of the match. It's payable in India. It's drawn in India, but it's payable to David Warner. Still, it's a inland instrument. So out of the 3, any 2. That's it. Following guys. That is what I gave as a chart. But the base is where it is drawn. How the law teaches us, if it is drawn in India, it almost becomes an inland instrument. Then he is telling in the next 2, check any one. Are you following guys? Clear? Understanding? That's why the chart is like that. But in conclusion, in 3, any 2. So you know what's inland and foreign instrument. Next, demand and time instrument. I'm going fast, 45 minutes, 9 hours content of negotiable instrument, focusing only on exam. Demand and time instrument. Demand instrument means payable on demand. Whenever I ask, he has to pay. Check is always a demand instrument. Time instrument means there is a time specified. After 3 months, 1 month, then only it will be paid. Following. Next you have inchoate and ambiguous. Ambiguous instrument means confusing instrument. I don't know. You drafted so beautifully well. It's a promissory note or bill of exchange. I don't know. So I don't know whether it's promissory note or bill of exchange. That case, what I will do? Choose any one. Either treat this as a bill or treat as a check or promissory note. And whatever you decide, continue and follow that. Are you following, guys? Clear? Inchoate instrument is basically a blank instrument. It's a beautiful concept here. I gave a blank check. Inchoate means something is not complete. I have to complete it. Are you following, guys? For example, date is missing, add it. Now here, I gave the check to, let's say, Mukesh for his birthday. I told Mukesh, write any amount you want up to 10,000 rupees. How much will write Mukesh? Up to 10,000. But balance in my account, I had 50,000 rupees in my account. He wrote 50,000. Will he get the money? He will get the money, but he does not have the right to get this money. Because Mukesh is a holder. Who is the holder? Before I proceed, holder versus holder in due course. Very important. Holder versus holder in due course. What's the difference? Holder is basically who is holding the instrument, who got the possession for the instrument for free, without consideration, as a gift or charity or out of donation. Somebody watching this video, first time negotiable instrument, don't take that risk. It's not the basic one. If you know it, then it's good. So, if you got negotiable instrument for free, I gave it for free in donation without consideration, you are called a holder in due course. Means you received it on behalf of consideration. Instead of giving you consideration, I gave you negotiable instrument. Same Mukesh example. Mukesh sold some turmeric to me in bulk, in wholesale. So I had to pay Mukesh 10,000 rupees. So instead of giving him 10,000 rupees, I gave him a check with a blank check. Asked him to fill whatever the amount for turmeric. Later he messaged me 10,000 rupees. But he filled 50,000 rupees. Will he get the money? Yes. That is what we are seeing here. Inchoate instrument means incomplete, completed. But look at the difference. The holder, Mukesh, cannot recover the amount in excess of the amount intended to be paid by the signer. What I intended to pay, you can't recover more than that. The holder in due course can, however, recover any amount on such instrument provided it is covered by the stamp affixed on the instrument. Are you following, guys? It should be fixed on the stamp. That means in check the value limit was 50k, so you can recover up to 50k. Why, sir, this difference? Why you gave a blank check first? Inchoate instrument. Are you following, guys? Clear? So you understood what is demand instrument, time instrument, inchoate and ambiguous. This is a key concept that they can test. Inchoate instrument, holder can get what was intended to be paid. Holder in due course can get up to the limit of that instrument. Clear, guys? Next, check. We all know what's check. We are going to see different types of crossing of check. General crossing. You will see two lines like this. What is the meaning of that? No, account pay is different. First of all, if cross is not there, what will happen? If cross is not there, I can give the check and take cash and go. If check line is there, money will be transferred only from bank account to bank account. What is special crossing? I will put cross and write SBI. Then money should go only from to SBI account. Account pay check. If I write cross and write account pay, if your name is, let's say, Saravanan, or let's say full name, for example, Charan, full name, Charan, Mohit Chopra, okay. His name is Mohit Chopra. In check I wrote, by mistake, Chopra Mohit. Will he get the money? No. If it's double line, he can get. Or I wrote Mohit C. I wrote Mohit C. Didn't write Chopra. In bank account, it's Mohit Chopra. Then he will not get. Account pay means exact match from the name in the check to the bank. That's why I wrote account pay for safety. Following, guys. Then non-negotiable crossing. That means the non-negotiate crossing does not mean the check is not transferable. I'll read simple words for you to understand. In simple words, when the goods non-negotiable are written, even a HDC will get the same title as that of transferor. Thus, if the title of transferor is defective, title of HDC also is defective. I'll tell the principle. Follow. A gave the negotiable instrument to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. Okay. Or let me put other words. Let's say Mukesh, from me, Mukesh stole a check and he gave it to Sangeeta restaurant when he ate. Okay. Sangeeta restaurant went to Chroma showroom to buy a new TV for the restaurant. For that they gave the same check. From Chroma storeroom, let's say Sai Kiran stole it. From me, Mukesh took it. So Mukesh is a holder. Stole it. Sangeeta is a holder in due course. Chroma also is a. Sai Kiran again is a. Now Sai Kiran had to make some payment to Santosh. So he gave the check. So Santosh will now become a HDC. Holder in due course. But so even though there is a defect in the instrument with Mukesh, when he gave it for consideration to Sangeeta restaurant, the defect is removed and it becomes a holder in due course, Sangeeta. And Sangeeta will transfer like HDC. Again defect in Sai Kiran, but is giving to Santosh. Santosh becomes holder in due course. So when the instrument is given for consideration, the defect will be removed by holder in due course. But if I write the word non-negotiable, everybody will be holder. So Sangeeta will get the same right what Mukesh had. Chroma will get the same right as Sangeeta. Are you following, guys? Clear? Hello? That is non-negotiable crossing. Protection of liability of paying banker, not that important. Basically, to summarize in one line, if you did not do crossing and if the party took the money in cash and went, you can't blame the bank. If I did account pay check, bank paid to account pay check, you can't ask the bank why you paid. If you give an instruction to bank, if bank follows that instruction, later bank is not liable. Are you following, guys? Next, this is not that big important. You know, presentation on demand means pay immediately. After sight means pay with 3 days of grace. Generally, demand instrument, no grace period. Time instrument, if they use the word after, there is 3 days of grace. How to count this time? You know how to count it, correct? Emergency holiday, next day. Public holiday, previous day. That's it. Then this one, when I am counting the days of 3 days, exclude the date on which you present the bill. After that, 3 days. Are you following? Then one more concept. If months end on the same day on which instrument was drawn, I drew instrument on 28th Feb. 3 months ends on which day? March, April, May. 28th May. But if I drew the instrument on, let's say, 31st December with a bill of 2 months, then it will end on which day? 28th Feb. You can't tell, there is no 31st in that month. So in that month, if there is that day is not there, last day of the month. That's it. If they ask us some, but we are not in foundation accounts. Difference, you know the differences, guys. I'll come back to this point later. Going to important concept. What happens if a check is dishonored? What happens if a check is dishonored? Because there is no balance. How to recover the money? Important. when a check is dishonored, first once you receive the check, it has to be presented within. Once you present within 3 months, if check is dishonored, then you have to give the notice to the other party within, asking him why you did not pay. So within 30 days of bounce of check, you need to give notice. If you don't give notice within 30 days, nothing can be done. You can't get that money. After giving notice within 30 days, he has to reply within giving reason or giving the payment. If he does not do anything, you can file a case. And the other party for check bounce is liable for imprisonment, because check bouncing is a serious criminal offense. So what should I do? Present the check within 3 months. Otherwise, then present again within 30 days. And then wait for, within 30 days, give him notice, wait for 15 days. I gave check for a charity. The check bounced. Can the charity sue me? Charity. Or I gave check to somebody for birthday gift. Check bounced. Can they sue me? No. This provision is applicable only when the instrument is given for consideration. Only when it's given for consideration. Are you following, guys? Hello? Next. Now, the party from whom check failed, he can't give an excuse saying that your balance is not there. I didn't know. That is not a valid excuse. Are you following, guys? And if check bounces, it means you have done a default unless the other contrary is proved. Now come here. I told check given for donation, gift, etc. This provision is not applicable. And if check bounces for consideration, imprisonment up to 2 years, fine twice the amount of check or both. Are you following, guys? Hello? Clear? When this provision is applicable, if balance is insufficient or balance exceeds the limit. Clear, guys? Fine. Next to what happens? To continue the same provision, continuing same provision, yeah. You went check bounced, guys. Follow. Important because this was amended recently, the only amendment in Negotiable Instrument Act, but amendment 2020. Okay. Now, once the check is dishonored, what will happen? Once check is dishonored, we saw 3 months, present within 3 months, 30 days, 15 days, notice, then he has to pay within. After 15 days, what happens? After 15 days, this timeline starts. After 15 days, you will go file a case, and whether he is convicted or not, that party should pay 20% as interim compensation. Check for 1 lakh bounced. Case is going on. First he has to pay 20,000 within, to the court, not to me, or to the party also. Then he's saying, ayo, suddenly you're asking, give me some time. Extra they can give 30 days. Are you following, guys? Let's say Santosh gave me a check bounced. I presented in 3 months. Then I gave notice for 30 days. Then I asked him to reply. 15 days I waited. He didn't reply. I filed a case on him. Before we can proceed with the case itself, he has to pay how much? He is giving excuse. Court is saying, if you want to talk, first give 20%. How many days time? 60. Extra 30 days. He won the case. I lost the case. So I have to refund to him within 60 days. Again extra period of 30 days. I have to refund to him. Following, guys, he lost the case. What he is doing? Going for a appeal because he lost the case. In the new court also, he has to pay again That means already paid 20. Again pay 20% within 60 days. Extra period of 30 days. So basically the person for whom check dishonored first has to pay 20% within 60 days. Additional time 30 days. He lost the case again. Go for appeal. In the appeal also he again has to pay 20%. So 20 plus 20, 40% again within 60 days. Additional time of 30 days. In the higher court he won. Now I have to refund him how much? 40% within 60 days. Additional days of 30. So same 60, 30. Are you following guys? Easy. Can we proceed? Clear guys. Important area not yet tested. Amended area. Clear? That's what we saw here. Relevant points, they are saying for some small cases, time pass, small cases. This guy slapped me, this guy abused me, negotiable instrument, small petty case, small bills, 5,000 rupees case. Don't drag the case for 3 years. They are saying speedy trial, the case should be completed within 6 months. Can come in MCQ. Speedy trial finish within 6 months. That's it. The other points are offense by company means who will be arrested, officer or director. Next. Let me go to these two concepts. Or before that, I'm just going in random order guys. Presumption is you already know. Okay. Now, after I get a check, can I change the facts in that? Can I change the amount or can I change the wordings? No, you can't change. But someone wrote 17th, let's say 17th July 23. The 3 was not finished. Can I finish that? Or in the amount, can I write like this and put one slash? Or he wrote 10,000. He forgot to write only. Can I add only? So we are going to see a concept called material alteration. In other words, alteration which is allowed, instrument is still valid. But sometimes we have an alteration called material alteration, making the instrument void, invalid. What are the examples? Basically common sense. If you change date, it's a material alteration. Changing year, changing month, changing interest, changing amount, changing time, changing place, addition of parties, all this makes it material alteration. Tearing the instrument, adding new stamp duty. Because if you add new stamp paper, value of instrument will increase. Alteration of erasure of the word. Account pay is written. I am removing the word account pay. I wrote account pay check. I removed the word what guys? Account pay. Now order check. I wrote somebody's name. I am removing and making it blank check. Material alteration. But opposite, converting blank instrument to order is totally fine. Following guys. What are the things which are allowed? Unintentional pure accident. Alteration made by a stranger without the consent of holder but without any fraud and negligence on his part. What do you mean by this? Cashier in the bank will make some changes. That's fine. Alteration made to correct any clerical mistake or with the consent of the parties, or alteration made before the instrument is completed. It's not even alteration. I am just completing the instrument. Incomplete instrument. I am completing. It is not a material alteration. Blank instrument is converted to full, not a material alteration. Are you following guys? If there is a material alteration, it leads to discharge of instrument. Following guys? Clear? Next. Accommodation bill. What do you mean by accommodation bill? Everybody knows what's bill discounting. Now, for instrument or negotiable instrument, consideration is mandatory. Correct? Now, what is happening? a person drew a bill on another person without any consideration, and then that bill is endorsed to somebody or discounted with the bank to get money. That's called a accommodation bill. Clear, guys? What is negotiation back? Let's discuss about concept of endorsement. A sold goods to B and B issued a bills receivable on A. A endorsed the bill to B, A endorsed it to C, C endorsed it to D, D endorsed to E, E endorsed to F. On due date, B did not pay. Whom will F ask? E. E will ask. D will ask. C will ask A. Correct? This is how it goes. Now, what F did? F endorsed this bill back to D. Are you following? Now, on due date, who's asked the bill? D will ask B. B did not pay. So, B will ask E. If B is asking E, E will ask. F will again ask D. It's coming back to me. Sorry, other way. Other way, guys. Now, who is the last party in the bill? D. He got from whom? F. So, D will ask F. F will ask. E will again ask D. So, if D is asking F, again it's coming back to him. This is called negotiation back. Instead of D asking F, F asking E, E asking D, D can directly ask C. This is called negotiation back. That's what I gave here. Shashank drew a bill on Muttu. Shashank endorsed to Rakesh, Rakesh to Sibi, Sibi to Saranya, Saranya to Kirti, Kirti to Gaurav, Gaurav to Aditi. Aditi gave it back to Rakesh. Now, when Muttu defaults, Rakesh directly can ask Shashank. Are you following, guys? Clear? This is negotiation back. Now, let me discuss some key concepts in endorsements. These are all separate random concepts in the book. Everyone knows what endorsement is. I just showed you what endorsement. Now, let's say Anthony is endorsing. Anthony sold goods to, let's say, let's say Anthony sold goods to Sai Kiran. He is endorsing it to Mukesh. But by mistake, instead of writing Mukesh, he wrote Malar. And he endorsed it to Mukesh. Now, Mukesh wants to endorse it to Santosh. How endorsement happens? Party has to sign, actually endorsed to Mukesh, but his name is written as. So, what should Mukesh do? He should, when he is endorsing to Santosh, he has to sign as if he is Malar. And next to that in bracket, he will write Mukesh. Are you following, guys? Clear? So, signature of endorsee, where endorsee's name is wrongly spelled Mukesh Malar, he should, when he endorse it, sign the name as spelled in the instrument. He should sign like Malar and write the correct spelling in the bracket after endorsement. Are you following, guys? They never asked this. Next. Who can endorse? Anybody can endorse. Effect of endorsement gives the right. Okay, fine. Come back here. Okay. Any instrument obtained by unlawful means or unlawful consideration, then the holder of such instrument is not entitled to claim any amount unless instrument was obtained by a HDC. If a HDC gets an instrument, he gets all the powers. Simple. Sir, what is the difference between holder and due course? If robbery or this or that, unlawful consideration, unlawful ways, holder will lose the privilege to claim the power. In covert instrument, holder cannot claim full amount. Charity, he can't claim full amount if it's dishonoring. In case of robbery, holder cannot claim the amount. In case of unlawful consideration, holder cannot claim. But holder in due course, in all the cases, can claim the full amount. He gets the privileges as if it's issued for consideration, except in one case. Holder in due course does not get the power. In check, we saw non-negotiable, but generally in case of forgery, in case of, I told you in Companies Act also, and I am telling here, in case of forgery, it's not a question of wrong consent, it's a question of absence of consent. So whole HDC will get the title just like the previous person, only exception. Following, guys? Clear? Look at this concept. In textbook, it's only one line where an endorser so excludes his liability and afterwards becomes the holder of instrument. All intermediate endorsers are liable to him. I will come back to this after I finish types of endorsement. Yeah, various kinds of endorsement. We know what's endorsement. We finished this. I'll just quickly run through what are other things you have to remember. 3 more concepts I will take and close. 1. Dishonor of negotiable instrument. I'll come back to that later. Dishonor of negotiable instrument. Instrument can be dishonored because the party has not made the payment or he has not accepted. Instrument can be dishonored because party has not made the payment or he has not accepted. Non-acceptance is following 6 points, which is important. Dishonor by non-acceptance. For example, in this case, instrument is issued in whose name? After going to Sai Karan's house, he is closing the door and saying, I won't pay. He is not even accepting to pay. He refuses acceptance. Within 48 hours, he has to accept. He is not accepting in 48 hours, then non-acceptance. Then later I found out he is accepting to pay. But later I found out Sai Karan is a minor. He is only 14 years old. So, instrument is dishonored because of non-acceptance, where the presentment is excused. Where the drawee is incompetent to enter into a contract. Instead of Sai Karan wrote Sai Karan. Then he is saying, I am Sai Karan, I am not Sai Karan. That means like Sai Karan, nobody is there. If the drawee is a fictitious person, he is there, sir. Sai Karan is there. He gave a bill for 2 crores. But when parties came, he started running. We can't find him. He is hiding somewhere where the drawee could not be found. Or is giving qualified acceptance. Sai Karan is saying, I will accept the bill only if RCB wins IPL. Are you following, guys? He is giving qualified acceptance, giving conditional acceptance. Then it leads to dishonor. Are you following, guys? So, dishonor by non-acceptance can be, if he is refusing to accept in 48 hours, presentment is excused, drawee is incompetent to enter into a contract, fictitious person, drawee could not be found, he is giving a qualified acceptance. Following, guys, next. Now we will go and see types of endorsement. Endorsement in blank. I am giving the instrument to you without writing the name. I gave blank check to Santosh. Santosh gave to Mohit. Mohit gave to Charan. Charan gave to Shakti. It's going like that. But nobody wrote the name. It's a blank endorsement. Same thing I wrote Santosh name. Santosh wrote Mohit. Mohit wrote Charan. It's endorsement in full. Are you following, guys? Now, let's say A sold goods to B for 30,000 and receive the bills receivable. A is endorsing 10,000 to C and 20,000 to D. Can you do that? Can you do that, guys? No. You can't do partial endorsement. Or A is endorsing only 10,000 to A, not endorsing anything to others. You cannot do partial endorsement. Full amount has to be endorsed. Following, guys. But B already paid 15,000 rupees, sir. How much is left? Now can I endorse 15,000 to C? Yes. Partial endorsement where the amount is only partial to be paid can be endorsed. Are you following, guys? Partial endorsement means I intend to transfer only a part of the amount. Is it valid? No. But exception where a bill has been paid in part, the other part can be negotiated. Like this 15,000 paid, other part can be negotiated. Following, restrictive endorsement. Now, how many people can I endorse? How many times can I endorse? Unlimited. 1,000 times also I can endorse. Correct? Till the bill validity. So, headache. How many endorsement? If I use the word restrictive, you cannot endorse. Endorsement. Endorsement restrictive. Endorsing, making endorsement restricts or excludes the right of endorsee to further transfer. That means when A endorsed sold goods to B, got a bills receivable, A endorsed to C, C endorsed to D and wrote the word restrictive, D cannot further endorse. Last one is conditional endorsement. Under conditional we have 4. Sans recourse, liability dependent on contingency, facultative endorsement, sans phrase endorsement. Are you following, guys? How are following? Only I am saying. Okay. Now, sans recourse endorsement, what they are saying, C is endorsing to D, D is endorsing to E, E endorsed to F. Are you following? When D is endorsing to E, he wrote sans recourse. Now, F went and asked B for the payment. Did he pay? He pays. Now, why this discussion? He did not pay. So, B is asking F. F will ask. E cannot ask B. E should ask C. Skip D. You know skip card, sans recourse endorsement. Are you following, guys? Then C will ask A. Sir, why sir E is accepting? That is his headache. If I write sans recourse, I am no more liable on the bill. Are you following, guys? Next, liability dependent on, let me finish this last one. Sans phrase. Sans phrase means expenses nobody else should incur. For example, C is telling, C is endorsing and wrote the word sans. If a bill is dishonored, F will ask B, B won't pay, then F will ask E, E will ask D, D will ask C. This entire process has a lot of legal expense, noting charges, protest. C is saying if it's sans phrase, all the expense I will incur. Fully who will incur? C will only incur. So he will ensure that the further parties will not incur any liable expenses. That's called sans phrase. Are you following, guys? Liability dependent on a contingency. What is that? By making his liability dependent on happening of event, in such a case, the liability of an holder will arise only on the happening of the event. Sai Kiran is endorsing and telling, I will pay only if RCB wins IPL. Liability depending on contingency. Are you able to follow, guys? Clear? So I'm just giving example, guys. Any RCB fans here, don't take personally. Our intention is to understand the concept. Okay. Last one, facultative endorsement. What is it? One batch student told, sir, faculty endorsing. No, not that. Facultative endorsement, guys. An endorser by express words abandons some rights or increases his liability. Let's say A to B, A endorsed to C, C to D, D to E, E to F. E is doing a facultative endorsement. He is telling F, assume the amount of bill is. He is telling F, if B doesn't pay, I will pay you 20,000. Increasing my liability. Are you able to follow, guys? Increases the liability or extinguishes some of his rights. What are the rights? To further endorse, he will do it. Are you following, guys? Now one more scenario is that A sold goods to B, B sold to C, C sold to D, D sold to E, E sold to F. Usually I will use student names for this, no time. So A, B, C, D. Okay. F strike D's name. How you will strike? Endorsement happens by writing the name in that stamp paper. F strike whose name? Now B did not pay. Can F ask E? Can E ask D? No, E can ask only C. Then D will tell, why you strike my name? Go ask. Are you following, guys? Clear? Now, simple scenario, tell me the answer. A sold goods to B, B endorsed to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, G endorsed back to C. Or let's say, no need C, G endorsed back to D. What is this? Negotiation back. Now who has the final bill? So on the due date, D will ask B, B will ask, B did not pay. So D will ask G, G will ask F, F will ask E, E comes back to D, negotiation back. Therefore D will directly ask. Now look at this. I am not here to teach you same thing twice in a marathon. D endorsed with a sans recourse. D endorsed with a sans recourse. So he got the bill back. He got the bill back, guys. So it's a negotiation back only. D will ask G, G will ask, F will ask. Because it's sans recourse, E will ask C. He skip. So it's a negotiation back with sans recourse. Never tested. Are you following, guys? That only is this point. Small in the book. It's there in the corner. One paragraph. I don't even know if you will read. This example is what I gave now. In book it's just one line. Where an endorser so excludes his liability and afterwards becomes the holder of the instrument, all intermediary endorsers are liable to him. This example. Negotiation back with sans recourse. Are you following, guys? Hello? Clear? Are you all with me, guys? So we have finished this. We have finished this. We have taken discharge. Sorry? This is done. Kinds of endorsement. You know what's bearer and order endorsement. You know dishonor of check for insufficiency, non-payment, non-acceptance, different types of instruments. What is crossing of check is done. I also told you what is holder and holder in due course. Read through these points. And then we are done, guys. All features. Only last thing important for the exam. I will end with this. Acceptor and acceptor for honor. Last one we will end with that, important for exam. Let's say Saravanan sold goods to Mukesh. Saravanan endorsed to, let's say, Charan. Charan endorsed to Mohit. Mohit asked Mukesh to pay. Mukesh is not paying. So Mohit will ask. Charan will ask. Now Saravanan on the due date goes to ask Mukesh. Mukesh is not paying. Saravanan is insulting Mukesh. Or for 5,000 rupees you can't give. Look at you. Why you are students? Okay. Now Mukesh friend Sai Kiran is standing there. He told Saravanan, don't talk bad about my friend. What you want? 5,000. Take the money and get out from here. Who should accept the bill? But he didn't accept. He failed to accept. So instead of Mukesh, to save Mukesh's dignity and honor, who accepted? Sai Kiran is called acceptor for honor. Are you following, guys? And under that, we have some concepts. What is the valid acceptance of honor? Now Mukesh is telling Sai Kiran, nee yaar accept padrathu, get out from here. I'll take care. Then you can't do acceptance for that. So, is acceptance for honor can happen. Holder, Mukesh should give acceptance and should give consent. And he cannot be compelled. You can't tell Sai Kiran, if you don't give acceptance, that's it. I'll hit you. I can't force him. The bill must have been noted and Saravanan directly can't go to his house and fight. First he should go legally, then only can protest. Next. And acceptance for honor can be made by a person who is already not liable on the bill. Mukesh, Sai Kiran is already liable on the bill. He's saying, I'll accept. How? Are you following, guys? This is acceptor for honor. Can Mukesh accept the bill by himself? He's called acceptor for honor. How, sir? When he did not accept, he's no more a party to the bill. Now again he's coming back and accepting. He's called acceptor for honor. Are you following, guys? This is the main principle between what? Acceptor and acceptor for honor. So that's supported, guys. Negotiable, so I've done everything. So I'll conclude by saying all the best for your exams. One thing, whatever you have studied the best. Don't compare with anybody. Whatever efforts you have put so far, that is what you have put. Don't compare with others. Whatever time is left from the time you are watching this video till the exam, just give your 100%. Forget about all the distractions and forget about all the movies that's going to come in World Cup. Leave everything. Focus on exams because it's hardly a month left. 20 days, whatever time, you need to give your extreme best efforts. Imagine it's your best last attempt in whole syllabus. If you want to pass, I'll ask only one question. Are you giving your 100%? Leave the pass. I don't want the answer. Whatever time is left for the exam, give your 100. Sir, I'm not able to finish syllabus. It's okay. With whatever time is left, give your best. Then you cry after exam. You didn't study this. With the available time, don't think about this person is not talking to me. I had this breakup. I had this. I am fighting this, or I'm not studying. Put everything aside. For 20 days, nothing will happen if you focus fully on the exam. And in the exam, just go right for 100 marks and give your best. Don't discuss answers after exam. Write all the 8 papers writing both groups or all 4 single group. Don't skip. Just keep going. All the very best, guys. Thank you. See you. Thank you, guys. Yeah. That's it. With this marathon comes to an end recording. Check the description for more details. Yeah.